Hi, welcome back. So let's get started with our first real lesson on design. The information that you see in front of you, or the photo that you see in front of you, is actually a grid system. Some of you guys are going to have grid systems that look exactly like this. Others will use a columnar structure where you have maybe 6 or 8 columns on each of these pages with one pica, which is a 1/16 of an inch. About this little tiny box up here measure is a pica. And some of you will have grids that are about 3 or 4 picas wide with then a pica between and then another grid of 3 or 4 picas wide. So the basic foundation of your page will have some kind of a grid or column, and you always want to use those grid or column structure when you're designing, so it's important that you're aware of what that is. When you look at this also, you're going to see that there's this margin or border. This is the white space around the outside of the grid structure. Your margin, you always want to try to work within your margin, and when you place items on your page, you're going to define your margin on each side. So something on your spread is going to touch the top, something will touch the bottom margin, something will touch each of your side margins. That really helps to just set that basis for the foundation of what goes on your page and keeps everything within the margins on your page itself. This line outside that's orange here is the actual trim line. The trim line is the area on your book that the plant will actually trim or cut. So you want to be careful when you place items on your page that nothing goes within that trim line or past that trim line or even close to it. The printers really want about a 2 pica margin around your page as a minimum, so that if their cutter is off by just a fraction of an inch, it's not real obvious. You want to be careful that if you bleed something off your page, which means you kind of run it outside the margin, that is something that's not essential. So it maybe is a rule line that bleeds or a screened area of color that bleeds. If you bleed a photo, you need to be sure that the content of that photo is not important in the area that goes up into the margin and to that trim line. The same thing kind of holds true for the gutter. The gutter is the central area here, these 2 picas in the middle. And the gutter really is the area where the pages fold together in your book. So you want to be sure that, again, whatever goes across that gutter is not important. You cannot have text running across your gutter for sure. Content of a photo, whatever goes over the gutter, has to be something that's non-essential to the photo. You definitely don't want to have faces there. We'll call that gutter face. And you definitely don't want to have like cuts of limbs there. So be careful of what goes in that gutter area as far as your photos, artwork, or graphics. Graphics usually are a little easier there, but just know that you're going to lose a piece of whatever goes in that area on your page. At the very bottom of the page here is your page number and your folios. The folio contains the page number and the page information, and often who the designer or staffer is that created it. Depending on your publishing company, that information might be preloaded. You might design that if your editor wants to have something that you guys pre-design that goes, but it should be consistent, and you should have a folio on every single spread in your book as a reader service, so readers know what is on the page. As they flip through, they can quickly look at page numbers. Okay, those are the basics. Hope you're ready for a quiz.